And I think we're live.
Paul,
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Ian, how are you?
doing amazing. How about yourself?
Good. I am physically very sore. I started going to those workouts, like class workouts that are led by an instructor. And I think he did not like the fact that I was gone for like 3 months. And I think the last two workouts that I went to, he was particularly hard on me. He was
Finishing.
very pushy. Yeah, he was like, more push-ups, more push-ups. Like today we did this. It's called cross training. It's a little bit of CrossFit, but it's got weights as well. It's a little different than CrossFit. And today he did this thing where it was like 5 minutes of different exercises, 30-second breaks for a full 45 minutes, which was very brutal. But
So, going to the gym in the morning versus night, what is your take on this and why?
I think I like the classes in the morning because if I go to the free gym by myself in the morning, I will not have motivation to do everything that I'm supposed to do. But if I go to the class in the morning where I'm not choosing what to do, the instructor is like, all right, now everyone, 10 people have to do this. I can't really choose, I just have to do it. So in the morning, I like when it's led by someone else. In the evening, I like to go by myself. I have had my coffee. I know, like I can convince myself to do the things that I'm supposed to do. And I have two gyms that are close to here. One, the free weights one, and one the class one. And the free weights, just regular gym. I just go like autistically. I go in and I do 42 sets or 42 reps in each of the machines, all of them, and just go out. Like I just go in and I know, like I don't have to decide anything. It's just 12 and 3 10s, 12 and 3 10s on every machine that I like. And
So, you
I
have
found that
machines that you don't like.
there is machines that I don't like that I don't
Which,
ever do. Uh, this is not gonna sound good, but I don't really like a lot of the leg machines, so I just skip those. I do regular squats instead. Um, and then there's like the bikes that I skip. There's the stair machines that I skip. There's some machines that I don't think are value for time or there's it's better to spend my time doing like another machine. So yeah, so I found that doing these like little tricks of like associating my favorite number with the number of sets that I want to do kind of helps me. So like my next goal is to now do 42 push-ups in one go, which I cannot, like I'm very far away from doing. But
how
it's
many
a
can
little
you do right
nice.
now on one
nice
go? How many can you do?
it's like 12, 14, something like that. Back at network school, shout out network school, not sponsored, Balaji, we're waiting. Back in network school, I was able to do like 22 at the end of the month, but I'm talking like clean ones, right? But that has significantly dropped now. Especially today, I was able to do 12. But like jet lag and time zone change, and like I don't think I slept well in the last 2 weeks, and I find that is like playing a big role. So I am creatine maxing right now. Been
For how long?
for 2 weeks. 2 weeks creatine maxing, 2 scoops a day, and then I'm gonna drop it to just one scoop. And I also found the easy way to do it. Easy way to do it is just to drop it in the cup, not a lot of water, a little bit of water, stir it up, and just gulp it. No need to overthink it. No need to mix it in things. Just raw dog it and then have the. Like I was always trying to like sneak it into nice things that I like make it into a smoothie or make it into. It's just a lot of friction. Just do the scoop in the water, boom, next. It's not gonna taste
Or you
nice,
can
but
find something that you consume every day and just add it to that. So, if you like to have like a yogurt, or like if you like to drink something during the day, even on your coffee, I think that you don't feel the creatine.
I
But
don't. I like.
at the same time,
I don't
I
like to
wanna
mess with the
enjoy.
coffee.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Exactly.
That's right.
No, I think it would be you're trying to do too much then. If you put in creatine in coffee, maybe it's gonna, it's a different kind of bitter. It's not the same bitter. So let me just do, and also I found apple flavor creatine, which is really, really nice. Green apple flavor. It tastes like soda, green apple soda, which is really nice. This reminds me, in the last episode, I share my screen, and for whatever reason, I was only using one screen, even though I have literally 4 screens in front of me right here. 5 if you include the tablet and maybe another laptop. So like I have plenty of screens. But last episode, I was using one screen and I was sharing that one screen and I wasn't seeing you. And I noticed in the last episode that I was trying to read, or I was reading the Vercel hack bit, the script, and you were trying to speak. But poor you, every time you were trying to speak, I was just like, I continued reading. And I saw even in the times that you like saw that I slowed down a little bit in the reading and you wanted to say something. Immediately I just started reading again. And I was like, I need to address to the
How
audience.
did you, I would never say anything to you, but how did you realize? What did you see?
I watched the video and I was like, this is unacceptable behavior. This is so not nice. Like, I wouldn't want this done to me, like you're trying to speak, you're being patient, you're like trying to find the right moment to sneak in. And I was like, no, shut up, let's go. I continue reading. And, back then I was just like narrow tunnel vision into just making sure I wanted to complete the reading.
Dude, we were talking about a complex topic. I would imagine you are like focusing on going through the article, which it's fine.
Yeah, yeah, no, but it's still, oops, it's still like, I shouldn't have a problem like that. Like I should have you on a screen like I have right now, and the screen that I'm sharing on another screen. And that way I can see when you're trying to interject. Because visual, like, since we're on a video call, we shouldn't be compromising those visual cues is really, really important. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we jump into sharing screen and me reading screenshots again and not letting you?
I know I'm excited. Let's do it.
All righty. Okay. Let me share my screen.
So we won't talk about a complex hack and cybersecurity.
We will not be talking about hacks. We will not be talking about hacks. Not today, at least. Maybe.
But we will be talking about attacks, I imagine.
Oh, there will be some complexity, but hey, we can choose to take it lightly. Let me just go on D&D because I am getting bombarded with messages. So D&D is on and sharing screen. You see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Okay. I think the first thing to talk about, which I think is very important, is in the latest Open AI GPT 5.5 release, ChatGPT is now able to count the R's in the strawberry and the word strawberry. And it has received a lot of backlash because it is the only word that it can count the R's in. People have tried with other words that have this. It can get the strawberry R's right, but it cannot get the cranberry R's right. So some people are claiming that they just hard-coded a fix for strawberry, and it's not a model upgrade, it's just a patch, which is a very interesting solution from their end. However, I think that the latest GPT model, GPT, the one that create images, is very, very good at taking multiple pieces of like information or multiple file formats. Like this thing has icons, fonts, text, images. This is not easy to do.
All and very well put together.
Yeah. Yeah, like this a few months ago was not possible. You were only able to create one of the images here. And then you were only able to create like these icons one at a time, or maybe you could make a pack of icons. But there was always like consistency issues. Like you would start with this icon style, and then by the time you're making the 5th icon, the style has deviated so much that it's like not the same style anymore. But they seem to have figured out solutions for that. So shout out to those researchers and engineers that
I
are
think that
doing
people
the
are
hard work.
loving 5.5 a lot, and it's also better at design and front end, and also adding the images there. I've been testing it on Codex right now, and it does a pretty good job, I would say.
Yeah, speaking of that, I think there's another Sam Altman.
Is he tweeting his own posts, or does he have someone else? Because
This
lately
is a
I
very good question.
not
This is a very good question because recently he's been very trying to like appeal to Gen Z. Like he's trying to use the Gen Z language, like code maxing, looks maxing, and
Excel mugging. Jesus.
yeah, Excel. I don't know. And then if you're thinking about all this is at a time. So like he's posting this and a lot of Gen Z stuff when he's going through a big fight against Elon in the courts. Like the trial started a few days ago. And then there's this from a few days ago that I wanted to pull up. There it is. We still get looks maxed on front end a little, but we IQ mog hard now, which is who, yeah. And we will fix the former. And then the legendary Primogen says, you also bug max on front end, which I think all models bug max at this point. And then who is advising you? Yeah, what do you think? Do you think he's writing these himself, or is this a company, a PR firm?
Definitely, he has a lot of PR behind him to give him advices and stuff like that. But he might have also reached the point, that's my interpretation, where he thinks we're taking things too seriously. And for like something like that, you can just be simple and be funny, and that's okay. Even if you are
Mm.
like CEO of a big company, that's okay to make. And it's also like kind of representing also the OpenAI team relative to their competitors who are more enterprise and they want to look more clean and um you know ChatGPT is also for the mass and it's for the consumer, so that goes well with this type of writing, I would say.
Is this the mass though? Because this is a very small part of the population that talks like that. It's also
It's
definitely not
definitely
a paying part of the population.
yes, but again, it's probably not people that would be on the enterprise level, like working for big business and stuff like that. It would be more like simple, casual people who use also TikTok and, you know, consume this
Yeah,
type of content.
yeah. That one of the funniest things that I saw here in the comment section was Tyler. Let's go down below. I think it'll be somewhere here. Come on, Tyler, don't disappoint. Tyler is the intern at TVPN.
Oh, okay.
Relevant.
Can you control Command F?
There it
Maybe.
is. There it is. There it is. Yeah, I just skipped past it. So Tyler is correcting Sam because he apparently used looksmax, the looksmaxing term wrong. So Tyler says, Sam, just so you know for next time, this is technically incorrect usage of the max suffix. To looksmax is to improve oneself. It's not really a comparison between two different things. Mogged is a comparison between two different things. So the correct usage of what he's trying to say would have been, we still get looks mogged on front end, or we still need to looks max on our front end. So Tyler from TVPN is doing the Lord's work here, and he's helping out Sam. Or I think if this is written by a PR firm, I think that PR firm is gonna get a big, decrease in their pay because they didn't do their research. Or maybe they're gonna hire Tyler. to do these things going forward. Okay, moving on to some other parts of the world, or I guess same part of the world, but other news is that Mark Liu is going to San Francisco for the first time, and which is interesting to me for me to hear, because I thought Mark Liu had already been to San Francisco, but like imagine having built all these things and be one of the most recognized people in the indie hacking community, and I've never been to San Francisco. So this is his first time. He saw his first Cybertruck and he got excited, and he's over there reading something. And he was invited out there.
What is happening
Stripe.
with Stripe? What are they doing?
Stripe is doing the Stripe Session conference, and so they're flying in a lot of people that are famous for using Stripe, and they're talking at the conference. Stripe Sessions is like a conference that Stripe runs every year. And then the reason I'm bringing this up is because Mark Liu writes a note to himself that, "Hey, how are you?" is not a question you should answer. And this says a lot about the San Francisco culture of like people don't really care about asking you those types of questions. It's very like transactional in a way. Like, "Hey, how are you?" is just like "hi" instead of "Hey, how are you?" And they don't want to maybe listen to your answer. Yeah, someone wrote an article about the two-sided parts of San Francisco of like it can be really nice.
A French girl that went to SF, and she was talking about things not being so personal, but also very delusional, and the best place. I read this article. Yeah.
What's his name? What's
Gigi,
the other?
From Levels repost, but
Levels reposted. Yes. Yeah.
She was.
So that was a good one. That was a very good one. All right, what else do we have today? Terminal, of course. I think this is really funny. I think one of the things that's happening right now at a massive scale is that everyone is using GitHub, and everyone is just shipping vibe coded code to GitHub. And so what do you think about the cost of operating GitHub now? Like, is Microsoft worried? Should Microsoft be worried? What's your take?
Dude, I think that everyone is shitting on GitHub for not like doing good work and updating and they are just tolerating all this madness right now that everyone is like using repos and storing code that they don't understand and start vibe coding shit and then putting it there, which any day that GitHub goes down or they just stop operating, which is free for most of the people out there, then we're gonna understand how serious the problem will be and how much dependent we are, and also all the services that we're using in order to store our files, because they store our data for free, and I guess then they're using it for their own purposes, of course, but I think we should just be more chill on GitHub right now and how not react that bad to what they're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I think they did a few things that pissed some developers off. Like they made it so that if you want to host your own automations, you had to pay or something like that. I didn't get too much into it, but like GitHub gives a lot of free features in comparison with a lot of other software services out there, and it really carries a lot. It does a lot for the community, and there's obviously an incentive for Microsoft to buy it, an incentive for Microsoft to keep it for free. Like if you think about the AI like data capturing problem, those big labs want access to a lot of data. Claude and Anthropic is at an advantage because a lot of people use Claude Code now, and a lot of people are just giving Claude access to the repo, and then that repo ultimately ends up in GitHub. GitHub's owned by Microsoft. Microsoft has a very big stake in OpenAI. That same code can be shared with OpenAI. So both the frontier models are having access to everyone's code, basically, or both frontier model
Public
development companies.
code bases, not the private ones. Right?
Private ones too. Why not? First of all, Claude has everything, private and public, locally. And yeah, why wouldn't Microsoft? I mean, I've never read the terms and conditions, but why wouldn't Microsoft use the private ones too? Like,
Only if Microsoft accepted the frontier labs to actually access the private repositories.
I mean,
Why is it?
Microsoft owns a very big percentage of OpenAI. If OpenAI does well, Microsoft obviously does well too. Microsoft publicly said that they have invested, but privately, the terms of the investment are a lot deeper than we can guess, you know? So like the terms of the investment could be that OpenAI gets access to hardware, they get access to a lot of
But why
private
would they share
data.
private code bases with Anthropic?
Because no, not with Anthropic, with OpenAI. With Anthropic wouldn't need GitHub because Anthropic Claude Code is very mainstream. Claude Code is collecting all the Anthropic clearly keeps a version like trains on your code base. And that's not even like
Right, but
not even
if
the
you
shock.
think about it, they made a better model having access, maybe less access to GitHub than of one
Yeah, that's
open.
fair.
Or they maybe
made a
make
better model.
harness. You don't know.
They made a better harness, which was not a data problem. It was a product problem. And then that harness led a lot of people to use it. Claude Code became mainstream, but it wasn't as good as it is now, right? When it became mainstream or when it became really popular. And then this is just like a positive feedback loop. The more people use it, better it gets. And the more people pay for it, also the better it gets because they can hire more good people. It is definitely a very good like time for them to be spending the way they are spending. Like if they are not hiring the best people in the industry, who is gonna? So yeah.
Yeah, and apparently it's not very easy to compete against GitHub. Otherwise, this would have happened already. So let's just pray.
They tried.
Yeah, not easy to do. And so let's pray that this remains as it is and they still maintain the project because we all need it. And for whoever is just too salty about this product not being as good as it used to, good luck dealing with all this slop code that everyone is just pushing. And yeah, good luck having all this demand with the AI era. And good luck also competing against this product. So
we used to use GitLab at one of the companies I was working at. It was just a worse version of GitHub. It was
I would
clearly
never.
just a worse version. And then what was the other one? Bitbucket, which was very popular.
They
Also,
renamed it right now. Yes, I remember using Bitbucket, but I think there's a different name now for this.
anyway, I think there's absolutely no reason to use any of those. It's like, have you heard in the crypto world there's a term that there is no second best? Like everything else is a scam other than Bitcoin. And I feel like with these tools, there is no second best. GitHub is the winner. All right. Okay. Moving on to some other news. We have the OpenAI versus Elon Musk trial started a few days ago, and people are betting money after some of the trial things have come out. People are betting money now that Elon will win. And then Kalshi just posted this a couple of days ago.
Please do not use the verb betting. Please use the verb predicting here because we're not.
This is 100% betting. This is 100% betting. And here's why this is an interesting thing to bet on. Both of these people, Elon and Sam, are some of the most controversial, arguably some of the most hated people on the internet, for sure, maybe in the world, but you know, Sam is not as known in outside of the internet world. The people that will decide, you know, the decision of the court will be a jury of random regular people from Oakland or nearby where this is happening. And it's like how are they going to decide based on what? Based on who they hate less or based on who they think is like less harmful? This is a very interesting two profiles to be on public trial with a jury from from the public, because you know how those jury selection works, right? It's like just random people across the board, and they have to be very diverse. They have to be like from very different professions, very different neighborhoods, very different all these things, so that it's fair. So I'm very curious to see what happens. Elon is obviously claiming that they stole a nonprofit organization, and if the government or if the court lets them do that, then that's gonna teach other nonprofit organizations that they can do that. They can raise money as nonprofit and then turn their nonprofit into for profit. And OpenAI is fighting against that and saying, no, we didn't do that. We just couldn't scale anymore. We had to raise venture capital. What is your take on this? Who would you bet on winning here?
Predict.
Or you don't want to bet?
I would say that it's probably Sam Altman will have no issues with this case in continue building his company.
Okay.
My feeling is that, and it's kind of well known that Elon has like an ego of him just wanting to be part of everything and wanting to compete on every single sector out there, which makes him who he is. And I respect that, but I don't think that this should be that much of a issue right now. And again, to turn a non-profit into a profit, if you're making such a big impact in the world, you should also make profit as the society is working right now. And many things can also start from a non-profit research aspect and turn. That's how I understand it in my head. So I don't think like something huge will come out of this trial. What is your
Okay.
take?
I think I agree. I think like in classic Elon fashion, he just wants to be the only decision maker, and I think at times like wanted OpenAI to go under Tesla. You know, why wouldn't he, right? Because he wants to make all the decisions and he wants to be in control of it. He's like, if I've given you, like from his perspective, it's like, oh, I've given you all this money, you should do as I say. And they're like, no, you've given us a donation. We do what we think needs to be done. And yeah, big egos clash, and it is no secret that both of them have big egos. And I also think my bet, not prediction, my bet, even though I'm not going to bet any money on any of these platforms, my bet is that they will dismiss the case and that it will have no claim, because Elon, like, yes, he donated the money, but like literally when you donate something, you donate it. Like like you didn't buy a share of the company. You gave a donation. And if they mismanage the money, or if they manage the money in the way that you don't agree with, then you shouldn't have done the donation in the first place, or you should have done terms for the donation. You should have said, hey, I'm going to give you 5% for this milestone. And if you achieve the next milestone, I'll give you the next 5%. But he didn't do that. He just gave them the money thinking that, it would be. So I think it's more of a miscommunication issue than it is legal. And but it is
After
very
a
interesting that
point,
it's becoming
when
a very
you're
public.
donating, quote unquote, so much money, it's not about communicating also the purpose, It's more like what the contracts say and the document, and they will figure this out eventually. If, there is a legal process behind that, there should be a verdict. But I think, as you said, here is like show of power. And
Mm.
it's really disappointing sometimes to me how these big influential leaders show, to the world that they can also be tricked into fighting with each other for things that don't help the humanity, or they don't make the world progress. So I think that this should be settled. There shouldn't be that much visibility over things like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of things that could be helpful to humanity, Anthropic just wrapped up their other hackathon. The series continues, so every time they drop a new Opus model, they do a hackathon. And this hackathon is organized by Cerebral Valley. You know Cerebral Valley? They're the guys that organized the Claude Code birthday party that we went to, and we spoke to their founder. They are going all in on building their own platform. It very, very agentically coded. I'm not going to say vibe coded because there's some level of quality and level of taste in it. But yeah, they organize events and they are an event platform. And the first place of the hackathon, I think this close today, like a couple of hours ago. The first place of the hackathon went to this project called Medkit by a Turkish guy. And it's a voice-based clinical simulator where medical students take histories, order labs, diagnose, and get scored on their reasoning against the latest published guidelines. I don't know what histories is. Like the history of a patient. Okay. So I went and found the tweet.
It's like simulating a patient coming to your office and you try to diagnose what they have.
Yes, sir. Yeah. And there's like actual, I guess like publicly available data. So this guy drops the tweet here announcing that he got first place, and it is a Claude Code built 3D clinic simulator.
My
and if
God,
you
he
can,
built 3D version too.
Yeah, if you go to the website.
And is it open source?
I don't know. Is it open source? Project gallery, full demo. I don't see a GitHub link. So maybe no.
Okay.
Voice agents. But yeah, so the idea is that it's a voice controlled thing. So you talk to the 3D the 3D character that comes into your clinic. I would say that the UI is very well looked after. Let me stop the music because it's too much in my headphones. The clinic that lets you make every mistake before they count, which is very nice. Open now. Oh, and I have to like let my microphone. I give my microphone permissions. I guess I could do that. Yeah, can you still hear me on the podcast recording? Okay, good. Accept the next patient. Should we do it?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. Oh, that is walking in a little creepily.
Opa.
But we have the next.
Oh, we went to the chair. That was creepy as fuck, girl. You're not doing all right. What are your medications? What are you?
That was aggressive. Mary is thinking. Okay, Mary Smith, 34, female, thinking.
Hi, Mary. How are you feeling today?
See, okay, so this is sidebar now. Not talking about this project specifically. This is my problem with AI. A lot of AI applications, they're slower to load now than Web 2 applications because they have to make the initial connection with the LLM providers. So I think if someone can crack how to pre-load, how to pre-configure, how to pre-connect, or have the session ready to go, that would be a very good UX improvement. So Mary is still thinking.
I think this is taking way too long.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in? Okay. I've been exhausted. What is the reason?
Been exhausted for months and get short breath. Climbing stairs. Okay.
Try to eat less carbs, exercise more, and don't skip leg days.
Where is that? Is that what you want me to tell her?
This is basically my diagnosis. Also, I see that you're suffering from hair loss, so let's also look into that.
Wait, hold on. I think that if I press E, okay, so I can ask, how long have you felt this? How are your periods? How's your diet? Any unusual cravings? Any recent travel? Mary says no. All right, okay, so this is not, okay, this is not what I thought. Let's go here. Let's do the. I thought that she was going to speak because it said that she was thinking. How long have you felt this way? About 4 months, getting worse. So I think that the green ones are the good questions to ask. How are your periods? Okay, these are good questions to ask. How's any unusual cravings? Any blood stool? Your diet? Any unusual cravings? I crave. Okay, so she is replying. All questions covered. Move to ordering
She
tests or
craves
making
ice.
diagnosis.
That's so weird.
So
Okay,
she
so
has low
now,
iron.
uh-huh.
I'm assuming. I mean, I'm not a doctor. Okay,
Can you ask if
diagnosis.
she's vegan? Can you ask if she's vegan?
Can I ask a separate question? No, I cannot. I cannot ask a free flowing question. They're predefined. Let me go diagnosis, and I diagnose her with iron deficiency. Right prescription. Dispatch. By the way, that diagnosis was correct, Ian. I was spot on. Iron deficiency. I know what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Okay.
Right. Dispatch without RX. Right.
Okay, give
Oh,
here.
I don't know what these are. I don't know what these are.
Peptides.
Let me.
Let's.
Well, let me ask Claude. Claude, which one should I take? Screenshot Claude and then back. Have you seen those? There's a new trend now of job interviews where somebody goes in for a job interview and the voice of the interviewer is like, okay, so how would you go about building an ERP or CRM, internal CRM? And it's like, yeah, quite honestly, I would just go to Claude and ask Claude how to do it. Claude will give me a few options and the recommended one. I will say, go with the recommended one. He will build it and I will test it. And this has been the reality of a lot of us.
Solution to AI is more AI apparently, so we're just following that. And based on what what you just showed me, an idea came to my mind of something that we should build.
Okay.
And this is the following. Here's the pitch.
All right, go for it.
You're an immigrant and you're working through border control.
Which border control though? That's very important.
The United States of America border control.
Okay, what do you do?
You give an interview based on why you enter the country, what are the reasons. It's like a preparation for the border control moment. So since all this big movement of people moving to SF, now this is the right time for you to prepare and feel ready for that moment. So I think that there is a need in the market for all these people to like prepare themselves. I would love the 3D visualization of you sitting and watching the officer eye to eye, scanning your then asking you the questions.
And then if you get the questions wrong, at some point they're like, come to us, random check in this room, and you go to the room, a new set of questions.
Open your stuff, open your luggage, open your social media. I think that there's a lot of room there for innovation and
I think if you
experimentation.
build this, this will go viral on Twitter.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm a bit skeptical of the 3D stuff and connecting that to voice because
like
I don't think you can byte code this like on a one shot. That takes, but we're gonna try it out.
Yeah, but I think what you do in situations like these is you get a 3D object library, and there's a lot of free of those that they have like chairs and humans and things like that, and you just have Claude just use those ready-made files. There's a big, you know how like there's like ready-made components for web UI. There's ready-made assets for
3D objects. That's
3D objects. And I'm assuming that's what this guy did for the hackathon as well. Like, no way No way this is done from like zero.
So he won the first prize, and now what is the win behind that? What did he get as a prize?
Oh, I don't know. Last time when we were there, it was like 100K
I think 50K.
and 50K in credits. I think it's similar now. It's either 50 still or 100K, something like that. Which is very interesting for Anthropic. It sounds like a big price. Obviously, there's a lot of demand for Anthropic tokens right now, but it's not really like it doesn't cost them that much. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I see why they're giving tokens instead of cash.
For sure,
They-
okay, for sure. The previous winner, no, not the previous winner. One of the guys who was in the top 5 last hackathon was also a doctor, remember? And so this guy and the new winner, they have a FaceTime and they made a post about it on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of AI in medicine can go a long way.
Yep.
And that's what the labs are showing with all the experimentations that people are using. Yesterday, I went to an event and I met a guy that built AI agents for project management and Kanban boards. And I'm like, how many of these do we need? Probably
Exactly.
there are some unexplored fields that it makes sense for people to like apply AI, but for some others they're very used. That I don't see the reason.
You know what I find, and maybe we can close with this last thought. Like a lot of the people that are very good at AI, they're way too in the weeds and they're so tunnel visioning that they have access to a very powerful tool stack, but they're so far removed from, say, like the vast majority of the population, like 95 or 99% of other people, that they cannot think of applying those tools that they have to the vast majority of the users. Like the vast majority of people don't care about an AI Kanban board. This probably won't be a need for someone who does use a Kanban board because who's updating tickets now? It's just you can fix things faster than you can open a ticket for them, describe them to the ticket. For me, if I need to make a ticket, the AI has to do it. I cannot do tickets. It's too much noise. It's too little reward.
Yes, I see that. Well, that's why you're not a product owner, and some companies have like bigger teams with people that they should pass information, while we're lucky and we can just vibe over things and just make them work. But yeah, I think that we have enough of these products to choose from. So
Now yeah, that you said we're lucky to just vibe things. Yesterday night I listened to the newest Naval podcast. And Naval apparently
he's participating.
he's been addicted to Cloud Code apparently, and he's like building his vibe coding. He literally calls it vibe coding. Um, yeah, he's like vibe coding his own apps now, and he's like talking about it with such enthusiasm. I actually was a little bit surprised that he went into so much detail and like what he's working on. So he used to work on this app called AirChat. It was like there was this Clubhouse.
Slack
Remember
related or-
Clubhouse?
Yes.
No. Remember Clubhouse? It was a Clubhouse style thing. It was a voice first. AirChat was voice first social media. So like people would do voice messages, like Twitter, but with voice messages. And it kind of and the concept was like you send a voice message and then they would automatically generate like a pattern with like creative coding, and it like there'll be some waves going on and then you're talking, and then after like a year maybe it shut down. And he's saying now that he had a big team and he was communicating to the team the product, and there was always like things that the team would say, oh, they're not possible. Oh, you're asking, it's like technically not a good idea, whatever, and so on and so forth. And whereas now he's saying with Claude, it has no ego. It doesn't need to prove to you that it's right. You just say no, do it regardless, and it does it. It was interesting to see him that enthusiastic, and that's what he's working on right now. He's building apps for himself, but also apps and like a vibe coding tool that I think he will announce soon. So yeah,
That's
as
pretty
if we
cool.
need more of those.
Please, another social media.
Another social media.
I just deleted Instagram from my phone, and
Nice one.
the only reason why I'm keeping TikTok is to upload our videos. By the way, if you're not checking it out, we have a TikTok page with shorts of our discussions, same way we use YouTube shorts. So go check it out. And thank you for this discussion. That was fun. I think we
Yeah.
should start experimenting either with having interviews of other people or go and testing it software live and playing with it as we did today. And yeah, that was
Yeah,
super
let's do
fun.
both of
Episode
those
9,
things.
one more closer to the threshold.
Let's go to the threshold. All right, everybody. Have a good day and see you in the next one.